Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Vaibhav, your host for today. Our topic for today is learning from Bhagavad Gita. It shall be taken by Miss Raina Tandon. She shall be covering why worry, be happy, karma karo, fal ki chinta mat karo. The only thing constant in life is change. We came alone into this world empty-handed. Anger make you lose your balanced point of view. Let's quickly go through the agenda. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Dr. Raina Khatri Tandon, question and answer session, and last closing session. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with the mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. Let's know more about Dr. Kataria. Designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualification, Mechanical Engineer, AMIE, Honorary Doctorate, Business Management. His experience are nuclear RAPP. He started his career in building India's first nuclear power plant at Rawatbata, Kota, Rajasthan. Oil and gas, EIL. He contributed in developing India's first oil and gas field at Bombay Heights since its inception. DNV. He was head of industry and offshore development with DNV for 2 decades. ICS. He is founder of first Indian conformity assessment and inspection body known as International Certification Services Private Limited, which is a provider of total quality solution under single umbrella with wide spectrum of services. He received several national and international awards, received Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA, social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental and safety. So now I request Dr. Kataria to virtually inaugurate the session.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. A brief introduction of our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Raina Khatri Tandon. Designation and organization, CEO, Right to Rise, first ISO accredited organization into women and child rights certifications, training, compliance, and audits. Academic qualifications are PhD in AI embedded systems and chip design, diploma in human rights from IGNO, human rights certification from EDX Harvard, PhD in human psychology and child rights Brazil University. Her area of specialization and experience, POCSO specialist and human rights expert from Harvard EDX, United Nations Rex Karmavir Awardee 2019, World Women's Summit 2022 Global Ambassador for Sustainable SDG 5 United Nations Goals for Gender Equality, Inclusiveness and UN Character Human Rights, Nari Shakti Awardee, President of Link in Local Women India, President of Women Economic Forum for 7 years, Vyapar Jagat Business Resilient Leader of Year 2023. Please welcome Raina ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, friends, and good morning, everybody. It's such a wonderful moment to be here on Diwali Day and pre-Diwali. Wish you all a very, very happy Diwali. छोटी दिवाली और धनतेरस की बहुत 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 शुभकामनाएं आप सबको. So interestingly, when they invited me as a speaker and I said, okay, I do so many other things because I'm the founder, CEO of Right to Rise. We specialize into inclusive leadership, POSH, POXO, training, compliance, auditing, and consulting. I said, what is more close and important on the eve of Diwali is we being spiritual. Importantly, we connecting with the part of us. And what brings us more close to us is nothing but the Gita and its learnings. So yes, interestingly, today I wish to share some of the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, and we will see some slides on the on our chat very soon. But before that, I like to ask you, what exactly do you think Gita is all about? So you can start using the chat, or you can, to avoid any unmuting and avoiding crowds, we can always use the chat and say, what to you is Gita? Why is Gita so important in our life? And why do you think Gita forms the foundation to everything that we do? So I'll wait for your answers in the chat. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one of the most ancient and Indian texts where the song of the Lord Arjuna was sang. It is the essence of not only Vedas but also Puranas, and was delivered as a message from Sri Krishna to Arjun. There are more than 50 centuries reading this Gita, and they raised consciousness of the man. And the background of Bhagavad Gita is a scene that we all know, where the epic of Mahabharata was taking place, where Arjuna is giving all the important foundation concepts of why and how he should be facing the battlefield in spite of having his own loved ones and also the others. So yes, I'm still waiting. Before we can share what is important to all of you as Gita Sar or Gita learnings, why is Gita so important to you? Thank you so much, Harish ji. Choti Diwali ki aapko bhi shubhkamnaएं. So yes, Pratibha, Irfan ji, Shifa, Smita ji, Pranesh, Akshita Rajkumar, हर्ष जी, अनिकेत, रोहिणी, मानसी, आपको क्या लगता है कि गीता में ऐसी कौन सी चीज है जिसकी वजह से हम लोग आज यहाँ पे जुड़े हुए हैं? Why are we all here? Any one particular reason why Gita is to be always spoken of? Yes, sir has already, Vaibhav sir has already told you that so many things we are having here to learn about Gita. But आपको क्या आज learn करना है इस गीता के सार से? Yes, it teaches us about purity. Thank you, Sushma ji. Dharma teaching, absolutely. It teaches us the right form of life. We might be everywhere, doing everything, trying to be perfect, because human nature ये है कि भाई ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, वो क्यों नहीं हो रहा. Why? अगर सब कुछ अच्छा भी हो रहा है तो उसमें भी हम लोग ढूंढते कि कौन सी चीज शायद अच्छी नहीं हो रही है, या मैं क्यों अच्छा नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. या बाकी क्यों अच्छा नहीं कर रहा है. गीता इट्स सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट. एब्सोल्युटली. सो अंकुर जी ने एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज बोली है कि गीता में पहले तो सेल्फ मैनेजमेंट है. इट इज नॉट अबाउट टीचिंग अदर्स. इट इज नॉट अबाउट when you are going to a form of life. It is about spirituality of first understanding who you are and why do you not like or dislike something. It will give you values, ethics, form of learning, form of life. It will give you ways of self management, dharma teaching, purity in life, morals, ethics. Superb. So many different things. Before I can tell you what Gita gave me, it was about giving me calm. It was not about running in life and having self management of first accepting that I'm not a superwoman. Even though I do so much, I'm a professional speaker, international speaker, Josh Talk speaker, TEDx speaker, running a company as a founder, being an independent director to multiple companies, being a UN Rex Karamveer awardee, and many more accolades. It is important that we understand the simple essence that we are human and human can err. To err is human. मतलब इतने बड़े होके भी या छोटी से छोटी तुच्छ चीज हमें इंजॉय करनी है कि हमसे भी गलतियां हो सकती हैं. So first level is, the first learning is, Gita tells us कि the consciousness of who you are has to be there. The second, why we say it's an essential part of life is because it gives us the management of art to do things and to do it well. So people management, efficiently managing self, efficiently managing your team, process of decision making, negotiation skills, control on action. अगर अर्जुन श्री कृष्ण की बात ना मान के आगे बढ़ के अपने ही लोगों को मार देता या अपने आप को ही कोसता कि मैंने अपने सीनियर्स को कैसे मारा, मैंने अपने बड़े बुजुर्गों को कैसे मारा, मैं तीर चलाना कैसे करूं. So we would not know that the only thing that matters is goal. What are we there for? Why are we there for? What is the purpose for which we are there? And that should be helping us to decide what should be the next plan of action. ऐसे ही आपको भी देखना है, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a business owner, whether you are playing the role of a mother, whether you are playing the role of a father, an educator, a son, a director, NGO head. In the role that you play, it is important to first see what is the role and what is the priority for which you are sitting on that seat. You cannot become oversensitive at times, you cannot become feeble or weak at sometimes. It is important to understand at that role what would the leader do. Management involves planning, execution, organizing, negotiating, staffing, delegating. It is not about doing things yourself, directing, controlling a lot of human efforts, and many more. So the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is to teach you different elements. Viewing from spiritual concepts, we need to understand that the whole thing will teach you managerial effectiveness. So whether you today handle your own house as a homemaker, you're a HR head, maybe you're the founder of a company, maybe you are a mother and a father, or maybe a senior citizen handling and taking care of your, understand that you will not. Hello? Sorry, anything important? Yes, I'm busy. I'm in a seminar. Thank you so much. So, what is important now to understand is this Gita is going to give you a lot of stability in taking action as different roles. Can any one of you tell me how many verses or chapters are there in Gita? How many different elements are there in Gita? Wow, we have a lot of people here. So that gives so much of power to us, of 42 participants participating. I getting to hear all of you, because importantly it is to get all the essence of so many more leaders who are here and not only me. So yes, Piyush ji, Pranali, Harsh, Pranesh, Riya, Do you know how many chapters or how many verses that we have? 24 elements, 18 chapters. Wow. So we have some answer here, and a lot of us coming to know there are totally 701 verses, 18 chapters, many elements, and these 701 verses are not difficult to read, friends. You have to get some kind of a pocket dictionary. There are some great podcasts which I can probably share at the end of the session to Vaibhavji, and he can share it with you all, where each verse is very simplified and brought out with what it is trying to teach you. These 70 verses and 18 chapters will give you the essence of your true life and answers to some of the questions that we always keep asking. Why me? Why is it important that I am always doing the wrong thing? And or why is that I'm trying so much but I'm not getting success? So many times we keep doing the best and yet we are not getting the best of people in our life, the promotions that we look at, the growth that we look at. One question in the field of dharma, the field of Kurukshetra, was asked: is my own son Pandavas, when they assembled, why is that? Where is that great achiever Arjun showing prosperity, policy, rights? How is that he goes against his own self to kill? A wonderful management lesson that came out was you are responsible for only your actions, not for how other people behave. That includes management of stress, tension, leadership management, lead by example, self efforts, crisis management, and many more. When a learner is inspiring, the teacher is the inspiration all the times. But teacher also appears only when the learner is ready. So I can keep teaching you endlessly. But if you're not giving your full attention here, you'll not be able to grab any of the learnings. You agree, right? So here I'm going to be sharing the screen now for you to see what we have for these 24 elements that even Sushma ji has said, the many chapters that we have, and many more. So yes, are you able to see the screen, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
701 verses, 18 chapters. Here we go. So what are some of the most employed things that Bhagavad Gita teaches us about leadership, about management? Bhagavad Gita often is written in Hindi literature form, Devanagari in a Sanskrit, and Bhagavad Gita means itself the song of the spirit, the song of the Lord. So this book was, of course, written by many high aspiring authors that we know of in different forms. But we need to understand that this was something that the God narrated completely in his own form, Krishna, to Arjun, who's a human element that we see of how we need to live life. What is the ways that we need to live life with? Gita is set as a narrative form of dialogue that we know to Arjuna. Management is an art of getting things done through with people efficiently and effectively. And this is done in this Gita, like I mentioned to you. The critical question to all managers: how to be effective in your job? The Gita answers: you must try to manage self. If you are trying to break a project, if you're trying to get a promotion, if you're trying to win people's heart in terms of growth, many a times we say getting things done is how to get or manage things. And GTD is a very important concept that all of us know. There are very many courses, but I just say Gita helps you to keep your resilience, courage, calm, patience in every activity. If things are not going right, how do we get things done is a skill, is an art for which we have to first manage ourselves and not manage others. That is why we say a boss is somebody who knows how to take all the people forward, not where he is bossing and getting things done. In chapter 6 of verse 34, it is written, mind is very restless, forceful, strong. Oh Krishna, it is more difficult to control the mind than to control the wind. Arjuna says to Sri Krishna. And we all know, I think throughout the day we get some million thoughts, right? In thoughts, we probably would retain only, say, 40-50 thoughts. And to keep those 40-50 thoughts right on our mind and to create effective action for an effective outcome, what we need to do is to discard all the non-priority stuff. He says mind is very restless, but always forceful to do everything that we want. We want to also help our child who's studying. We want to also manage things at home. We want to also get our cleaning and renovation done. We also want to work. We also want to go for a holiday because we are looking at what everybody is doing. वो छुट्टी करने गया है तो मुझे भी छुट्टी करनी है, वो यूट्यूब वीडियो बना रहा है तो मुझे भी बनाना है, मेरे बच्चे का एग्जाम है मुझे उसको भी देखना है, मुझे घर की सफाइयां भी करनी है, मुझे शॉपिंग भी करना है, मैंने दिया भी लेना है, मुझे डेकोरेशंस भी करने हैं, मुझे पटाखे भी जलाने हैं। और आपको ये सब क्यों करना है? अगर मैं आज अरुण जी, राजकुमार जी, पीयूष जी को, सुंदर जी को, शिफा को, इरफान को, प्रतिभा को और नवराज जी को पूछूं कि अगर हमें खाली एक चीज देखनी हो जो हमारे लिए प्रायोरिटी है, पटाखे जलाना शायद प्रायोरिटी नहीं भी हो सकती, राइट? लोगों से मिलना इंपॉर्टेंट शायद नहीं भी हो सकता है, कि जहां पे हम लोग सोचे कि भाई ये फ्रेंड के घर भी जाना है, वो फ्रेंड के बाद ये रिलेटिव के साथ ये, अगर आपको सबसे मिलने की चाह है तो आप ये भी कर सकते हो कि सबको बोल दो भाई एक ही जगह पे मैं अवेलेबल हूँ एंड वी कैन ऑल स्पेंड द पार्टी टुगेदर, प्लीज कम हियर, आई एम अवेलेबल, कम होम or make it happen, or we go out somewhere and we are still feeding it, but we are taking out some time for ourselves. But running around making your mind restful कि ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ, मिठाई नहीं ली, डेकोरेशन नहीं किया, I think we clutter our mind with so many non-productive things that we forget the most productive thing is to keep our mind calm, is to have rest on a day where you have 2 days, 3 days to spend time, valuable time with your seniors, with your family, with your close loved ones. Our mind is always forceful, always very strong, very headed. I want to do everything in life. But oh Krishna, it's more difficult to control mind than the wind, says Arjuna. But concepts in Bhagavad Gita tells you karmanya vedaya phale shuk dakshara, and you can read. This is a very important quote that we're reading, which tells us about work commitment, work efficiency, the leadership quality that we have. Work as defined in chapter 2 of the Gita. The doer has the right to work. Yes. The doer has no control on the outcome because it is already planned by God. All we are doing is playing this game as a stage. The world is a stage, my friends. We are just doing our role. We are just doing our part. It is already set whether you are going to get a promotion, whether work is going to get done, whether you are going to get all the tasks done for the shopping of Diwali, whether your cleaning activity is going to be done. Even if we have planned ahead that, we are going to clean and get our done work in maybe 5 days, it will go up to 10 days. And there's no control on the root cause of the fruit of the actions. So why focus on something which we don't have any control on and trouble our mind? There's no choice to reveal in inaction of the source. Also, we should not be going on thinking about what could be the reasons of why it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. We have to find other ways to make it happen. अगर कोई चीज नहीं हो रही है आपसे, आपको उसी चीज को करते रहना चाहिए अलग ढंग से जब तक आप उसको सक्सेस पाए नहीं. And it is very clearly said by so many lovely people who are intellectuals. If you keep doing the things in the same way, you'll get the same results. But if you try doing things in a different way, you might end up getting different results and a different action. So you will know there will be a lot of other solutions that you can look at. And that is what even Shri Krishna tells to Arjun. कि आप जो कर्म कर रहे हो उस पे खाली फोकस कीजिए, उसके आगे और पीछे ना देखें, क्योंकि आप आउटकम में क्या होने वाला है, कौन जीने वाला है, कौन मरने वाला है, वो आपके प्यार वाले हैं, वो आपके चहीते हैं, फैमिली हैं, फ्रेंड्स हैं, जो भी है, उस पे आप फोकस मत कीजिए. डोंट लुक एट द फ्रूट्स ऑफ एक्शन के आगे क्यों क्या. जस्ट कीप डूइंग व्हाट यू आर देयर फॉर एज अ एक्शन डूअर. The second is vision and leadership. Give you a moment to read this quote, which is there from the next verse of Bhagavad Gita. Whatever the leader does, whether it's a manager, whether it's a boss, whether it's a founder of an organization, whether it's a head, HR head, whether the CEO or CFO, you all will agree, whatever the leader does, others do the same. Let's take an example of home. Whatever the mother teaches, the children learn. Whatever the father teaches, the son learns. Whatever the standard is being set, if we all have a standard, that post 6 o'clock, probably for an hour or 2 hours, we are going to spend quality time, maybe cycling, maybe walking, maybe spending time with nature, maybe going for a walk, maybe going for an exercise time, maybe spending time just discussing about other things, not about TV, food, and study. I think we all will have that quality time with our family. You agree? And it is very, very consciously important that vision and leadership will go hand in hand. What is important is if we are clearly demarcating as a leader the different steps for us, we are putting down the same steps for our followers to follow. It always says leaders show the way, lead the way, and make the way. So set standards, set ethics, set values, and let these values embody into every person in your organization. They are hailed as a model for staff, students, people, subordinate, peers, co-associates, executives, your A class, B class employees, friends. So be vigilant to making that vision and leadership for your setup, no matter you start today or you've always been a leader earlier. Perform your duties with high level vision. Okay, so am I making sense? Can we move ahead? Can we see a little thumbs up before we move ahead once more? Can I see all of you? Are you with me? Going to look at the gallery. Yes. Sumit ji, Sushma ji, Omkar ji, Ajay ji, Redmi Note, Anand ji, Neerav ji. Are you with me? Vikas, can we see some thumbs up? Come on, friends. It's nice Sunday, and yes, Arunji, thank you. Shravani, yes, thank you. Today being a Saturday, just on the eve, I'm sure we all have some time for ourselves. It's not the time for me, it's the time for you. So if you are you learning something, can you put L, L, L? Can you put learning L? Harishi, Ajay, Atul, superb. L, 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 Neerav, Sumit, Shifa, Ankur, Rohini. Great. So we see a lot of L's. Awesome. And you can ask questions once we also come to the end of the session. I'll be happy to assist and help. Next is decision making. Most important things that none of us or most of us find it difficult. आपको क्यों लगता है कि decision making बहुत ही difficult चीज है? Any one of you can share? कर्म करो कर्म, लेकिन कर्म तभी किया जा सकता है जब आप डिसीजन मेकिंग में क्लियर हो कि आपको चाहिए क्या, राइट? और हम आधे से ऊपर लोग, हमें यही नहीं पता होता है कि हमें चाहिए क्या. अगर कोई इंसान को पूछे ना कि आपको जिंदगी में क्या चाहिए, तो बोलेंगे पीस, काम, हैप्पीनेस, जॉय. लेकिन जॉय, पीस, काम, हैप्पीनेस, on asking questions, how, why, where are we going to get this happiness? Where are we going to get these, whatever we say, calm, peace, resilience? ये आएगा कहाँ से? So आने के लिए पहले हमें एक्शन करना पड़ेगा ना, उसके लिए हमें प्लानिंग करनी पड़ती है. So one who sees inaction and action and the action in action knows that he is wise. The most important thing is procrastination. We want to be successful. We want to be happy. We want to go out and enjoy with our family. But if we are not going to plan, what is the different small actionable items that's going to make our action to inaction greater and make things happen, we are going to be there in the same place. So if I don't know from what takes for me to become a marathoner, the steps that I need to take is to eat on time, sleep on time, have good quantity of water. Say for men, it's about 4.5 liters of water in a day. And for women, it's 3.5 liters of water in a day. Have a nice protein diet that's going to keep you healthy, less oil. Always use an oil brush so that the oil content and the ghee content going in your body is appropriate, rather than using maybe a spoon or a little pourer or a bottle dropper. So it's much feasible if we say, okay, my food has been taken care, my water is taken care, sleep is taken care, and my fitness of probably walking half an hour a day. Don't you really think this half an hour will increase to 40, 40 will increase to 50, and so to 1 hour, with the consistency that at least I will make it to start and walk without having a break. The, the day you sit down without inaction, the day you sit down saying, oh, I'm lazy, oh, it's Diwali, let me eat some sweets, let me not do my walks, ek din chhod diya to kya ho gaya? That day you are causing your decision making to go wrong. When you know, when you are aware, when you are conscious that any inaction is not going to yield you to any kind of success, the action in inaction and the inaction in action is only known to the wise and what is the next thing that he needs to do. So in every activity that you do, please focus on the decision making skill, on what action can be the area that you can work on. Next is utilization of available resources. So what can you do to make your resources be available? During the curtain raiser before Mahabharata war, Duryodhana chose Sri Krishna's large army for his help, while Arjuna selected Sri Krishna's wisdom for the service. So whenever you are making your talent acquisition team, whenever you are choosing the right kind of people, I always say you must see people who are aligned with your vision. They should be aligned with your values. They should be aligned with your ecosystem. They should be aligned with how you think and you plan and you see your organization 5 years and 10 years down the line. They should be hardworking people, ready to take strides in life, ready to help you and them grow over a risk. So that these are people who are action takers, believers, doers, rather than those people who are maybe high credential but yet not ready to make and put efforts. So before the war, when people, Duryodhana and Arjuna, were asked, who do you want? And because Duryodhana was given the choice first, he did select the best of army, the best of resources, the best of utility. And while Arjuna was just given whatever was left, and he did choose Sri Krishna first because he knew, if I have a great leader, if I have a visionary leader, if I have the right resource person, he will guide me no matter I use even the lesser compatible or lesser competent resources in form of the artillery or the war force or the war utility that he needs. So choosing the right leader, the right partner, the right talent acquisition team, the right employees, the right role fit person is what you must always ensure. Next, motivation. How do you get this word motivation all the time? To overcome his disciple, Arjuna's depression, and to motivate him to fight the righteous war, the right war, Lord Krishna gave him the great teachings of Gita to his disciple Arjuna. After listening to all the teachings, Arjuna's mental health became well. So earlier he had a lot of things going on in his mind. How do I do this? Why do I do this? How can I do this? Why will I go and hurt my loved ones, my own companions? And he was finding himself questioning for every action that he took. When we grow as a leader, or when we run our companies, or when we run our setups, or when we take actions, we are accountable for every action that we take, right? Pranesh, Riya, Vaibhavji, many of the other people who are there, you know, you, Rajkumar, Arun, Pranali, Irfan ji, Pratibha ji, Navraj ji, you all will agree that someday or the other, as an individual, as a leader, as a founder, as an executive, as a CEO, CFO, we do keep questioning all our decisions and we are sometimes demotivated also. And as much as you start growing, at one point of our life, our motivation also sometimes go low because we do have our rises and falls. But after listening to somebody who's there as an indirect person who comes to your life, and it acts as a companion and helps you with great teachings and one learning in your life. And that one learning changes the entire way, the perspective that you see life. You become motivated, you become energetic, you become full of life. You're ready to war and fight the next battle. You're ready to set up the next company. You're ready to set up the next workforce. And that motivation can come in an individual leader all the time with the right kind of tribe. We say the right tribe brings the right vibe. So be among the wonderful top 5, 10 people who you see always motivating, no matter they are not growing faster or larger. But it's important that they are striding and helping you support each time. They're keeping your energies high. They're supporting you even if you fall with the right kind of approach towards the next win. Okay. Yes, so motivation is the next important key. And yes, other things that Gita teaches us is effective communication, the way we communicate with others. जहां से भी जाइए सद्भावना से, रिस्पेक्ट से, डिग्निटी से दूसरे से बात कीजिए, चाहे वो छोटा हो, चाहे वो बड़ा हो, चाहे वो वर्कर हो, चाहे वो आपका बॉस हो, वो आपके इन लॉज हो, वो आपके कोलीग्स हो, वो आपके टीम हो. Art of self management, the way we talk, the way we communicate, the self resilience that we carry, the self efficacy that we carry, the choice of words that we make, the tonality in which we talk, the stress and the anger management, no matter how much patience is lost, sometimes people can be difficult. All we can do is to still keep our tone down and use the assertive communication tool, saying how you feel. I feel this is troubling me and this is not what makes me keep happy. It gives me so much pain when you are doing this because I am feeling bad. So the usage of the I statement always tells the other person that how you feel about the entire situation rather than pinpointing you did this, you did that, you were the responsible person for it. Adoption of changes and innovation. I think COVID has taught us many more things. And Bhagavad Gita also teaches us that we have to keep changing with time. When we had Draupadi Haran, it is important that even the Pandavas understood that Kauravas had tried to play around with them. But going around the same strategy and being played around by other people cannot be done now in the 24th century. So you have to be very clearly looking at the competitors, your stakeholders, the people who are your so-called collaborators, but yet making competition behind your back. We won't call them enemies or foes because there are no enemies in the world if you are fighting your game ethically. So adopting to the new challenges, to evolving all the time with the new technology, innovating little by little with no shame of saying, I don't know this, I need to learn. If you keep on evolving, learning new things from others with an open mind, I'm sure you'll learn much more. Next is controlling. I think controlling, organizing requires a lot of team management, the way you are following the team ethics, and today's scenario of leading interns, team leaders, team management people, helping your staff. Controlling attitude never works. Probably a supporting attitude works, and understanding the whole scenario, helping them to bring out solutions to any problem helps a long way. An ultimate message for those who have conquered the mind, it is their friend. For those who fail to conquer, the mind works like an enemy. It fights against you. You fight against them, and you don't make it your friend. It tells you don't do this, and you do. If you fall trap of it and don't do it, then you're procrastinating. If it tells you do this and it's pushing you to something which is not right, you need to control it. So for those who are working on the monkey mind and not able to control it and make it its friend, it's difficult. Try to work on self because that is the key message behind Bhagavad Gita most of the times. Sri Krishna's advice to Arjuna with regard to temporary failure sometimes. No doer of good ever ends in misery. Anybody who does good to others all the time will never fail. Every action should produce good results. Good action will only produce good results. But if you're thinking bad for somebody, you have an evil mind, you're doing things which are against people, you're purposefully acting like as if you would like to hurt them. This is not going to yield you anything, my friends. So you will be rewarded only when you are taking the right steps in the right form and rewarding everybody with whatever growth you are doing. And before I can say the word thank you, I'm going to summarize all the learnings for you. And before we can go, there are some guidelines that you must always know. Crisis management, tension management, transformation in self, control on oneself, communication, the effort that you put, the awareness that you keep, and assist and feedback all the time. People do not like feedback. But one thing most important that Arjun did, the most important thing that Arjun did with Krishna was going back time and again. He was a great hero. He was a great archer. He was a great person in his skill and art. Knowledge, skills, expertise is what makes us perfect. In spite of being great at his knowledge, skills, expertise, and the respect for his guru, he still used to go back for all feedback. So we have to be good at going back to our roots, going back to people, getting feedback, accepting every time, even if we fail, and knowing how can we make it better, because only growing over a period of time with great understanding that change is going to be inevitable, we can grow. And finally, a leader is not one who only knows the way, shows the way, leads the way. A leader is also one who supports behind the back, sees all the small little edge of knowledge, helps the person to grow, leads you to the excellence without making you feel that it's all his effort. It is just offering being present there. As a mother, as a founder, as a leader, as a empowerer, as a person at home, as a person at your professional place, as an NGO, as a person who's a great individual in spiritualism, as a donator, always act like you are simple and you are always there, leading people, being behind them. That's the way of life. A responsible guru and an inspired leader corrects the wrong and protects the right of the growth. Only then you can be a great leader. So self-improvement, self-realization, self-efficacy, being a great leader and standing behind the back of your subordinates, having assertive, good communication, these are all that is going to lead you to be a visionary. And that's today's learnings from Bhagavad Gita, my friends. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Anna Khatri Tandon. Wish you all a very calm, enjoyable, healthy, happy, prosperous Diwali and a great, great, wonderful new year ahead. Thank you so much for having me today. And I hope that the great learnings can be implemented by you in your life. You can leave your questions on the chat or unmute to ask me. I am just around, but I hope that this session has helped you to grow as much as we would love to share so much of you putting it into action. Thank you. Anybody would like to ask any questions? Sonali ji, Arun ji, Rohini, Ambika, Vikas ji, Preet, Anand, Aniket, Akshat, Shravani, Pratibha ji, Navraj ji, Omkar ji, Neerav, Suraj, Supriya, Dilip Negi ji. Thank you, Navraj ji. Thank you, Vikas sir. Thank you, Rajkumar. Thank you, Ankur ji. Yes, friends, if you have any questions, you can still ask. Why Gita prompts Hinsa just as a piece of land Rajya? Good question. How many of you feel that, Ravana was positive person and Ravana can also teach you good things? Thank you, Harish ji. How many of you feel Ravan is a good figure? Is Ravan good or only Ram is good? तो मुझे लगता है कि राम और रावण दोनों ही अच्छे थे, क्योंकि अगर जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि अच्छाई होती है तो बुराई नहीं होती, बुराई होती है तो अच्छाई होती है, दोनों यिंग यांग है, वैसे ही अगर अहिंसा ही करते रहेंगे और हिंसा दुनिया में होती नहीं तो अच्छाई का पता ही नहीं चलता ना. We would not know what is right, what is wrong, because without right, wrong is inappropriate. Without wrong, right is incomplete. अब हिंसा क्यों? Why Gita prompts about हिंसा? So गीता डज नॉट प्रॉम्प्ट अबाउट हिंसा. जितना मैंने समझा है कि ठीक है, इस दुनिया में अच्छे और बुरे लोग दोनों होते हैं. फॉर अस टू लर्न what is right and what is the ethical way of life, we have to still show the wrong and the right ways of approaching in our life. There are people who can scream, yell, and get the work done. There are people who can act rude and get the work done. But is this an appropriate way of living, and how long can you sustain with it? Same way, अगर हिंसा हो रही है तो हिंसा क्या हमें किस हद तक उसको अंदर लेना है, उसको दिखाने के लिए पहले हिंसा होगी तो हम बता सकते हैं कि ये सही नहीं था. और अगर कुछ हो भी रहा है उसका रीजन क्या है और उसका महत्व क्या है, वही गीता हमें समझाती है. अगर अर्जुन के बेटे के ऊपर भी हुआ था चक्रव्यूह और उसको भी मारा गया था, तो उसका भी एक रीजन था, एक इम्पोर्टेंस थी जो आ रही थी गीता में सार की तरह बताने के लिए कि उसमें भी एक सही और गलत दिशा है. एंड फॉर अ पीस ऑफ लैंड, वेल, इट वॉज नॉट एसेंशियली फॉर अ पीस ऑफ लैंड, इट वॉज जस्ट, वो एक जरिया था बताने के लिए कि कौरवों और पांडवों के बीच भी, जहाँ पे इतने बड़े राज्य होते हैं, जहाँ पे इतना लैंड है, ideally it was about showing the entire essence of Bhagavad Gita and the good versus bad or the right versus wrong. It was not about the land at all, but the land was the reason for which all these things happened. So they have to show you some reason. That is why. Yes. So dharma युद्ध. सुमित जी ने सही बोला. ये एक युद्ध सिर्फ धर्म के लिए था. It was not about exactly land or money or lady or about sexual need as they showed about Draupadi. It was about showing all the elements or the padarth in our life. Like we say the 5 elements, air, water, fire. Same way we have to show some reason of how this initiated. So maybe that was the reason why we are here. Okay, I don't know why Smita ji wrote N. I could not understand, but yes. Thank you very much, Smita. Thank you. Yes, Sumit ji. Thank you, Shravani. Any other questions? I hope I helped answering that question to some extent.
Amazing session, ma'am, and truly an honor, listening to you, and you so smooth with your conversation. Really picked up a lot of good things, ma'am. What I want to understand, ma'am, typically is, when you make a decision. This was when you spoke about decision making. Any decision at some point of time is good for some, is bad for some, and depending upon a person's mental state at that point of time, he interprets it in his own particular way. You still that's what dharma teaches us, to go for the righteous way. But is the righteous way always the right way? Because
not really. Not really. Might be right for you, not right for me. For example, if you fire somebody, it's not right for somebody who's fired, but it's right for you. But what is important to see is at that point, I'm not going to be getting sensitive as a human being, but I'm going to be looking as a founder. Because अगर इंसान ने कुछ गलत किया है, so suppose it's your own partner, and if the partner has done something unethical, I will have to take a stand and say, hey, we have to part ways today. आपको ये organization छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा. No matter हम आपके साथ और आप हमारे साथ thick and thin तक 5-6 साल तक रह चुके हो. लेकिन आज हमें आपको यहाँ पे ही बाय बोलना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर मैंने ये स्टेप नहीं लिया तो बाकी लोग को मैं ये बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि जो आपने किया वो बाकी सब भी कर सकते हैं. It's okay and acceptable to cheat people, right? Same way, अगर मैं 2 बच्चों को देख रही हूँ, एक माँ को अगर गलती दिख रही है, एक बच्चे ने की है, अब झापड़ उसी टाइम पे गुस्सा नहीं दिखाया और छोटा बोलता है कि भाई बड़ा गलत होते हुए भी आपने उसको गुस्सा क्यों नहीं किया। जरूरी नहीं है कि मुझे सामने जाके ही गुस्सा करना है, मैं पीठ पीछे भी जाके गुस्सा कर सकता हूँ। और ये आपको उनको समझाना है, क्योंकि हर चीज को करने का एक नजरिया होता है, एक तरीका होता है। अगर बड़े बच्चे को ओवर अ टीनेजर, इफ यू आर गोइंग टू शाउट, स्क्रीम, येल, आई एम श्योर they also go on different routes. They know what are their options. And we as sensitive parents need to understand that after a period of time, the way we deal with the child changes. We cannot hit and slap a child maybe under 6 years is still fine. After 6 to 12, possible that you can scream, but after 12 or 13, we have to handle it with care, because we know that today they are not going to listen to us as much as we listen to our parents. Right? The world is evolving, the world is changing, the laws and rights are changing. So we have to also evolve in our parenting skills. सेम वे जब हम कंपनी रन कर रहे हैं तो कंपनी के लोग भी वैसे ही है ना, एम्प्लॉयज भी इवॉल्व हो रहे हैं, लोग भी चेंज हो रहे हैं। कोविड के बाद तो सिनेरियोज भी चेंज हो गई, जहाँ पे लोग शायद आना ही नहीं चाहते हैं काम पे, लेकिन अगर आपको उनको काम पे भी लेके आना है, उसमें आपकी लीडरशिप, आपकी डिसीजन मेकिंग, आपकी नेगोशिएशन स्किल्स, आपके बहुत सारी चीजें काम आनी है। सो वो मैं ये नहीं बोलती हूँ कि हर बार आप अपने आप को भी उसमें मारो कि भाई मैंने तो डिसीजन ले लिया, ये गलत है कि सही है पता नहीं, क्योंकि हम लोग सो वी हैव अ वेरी फनी स्टेट इन आवर माइंड वेयर इट प्लेस गेम्स विद अस। आगे से हम कठिन और एकदम स्ट्रांग दिखाते हैं, लेकिन कभी कभी हम अपने आप को ही जाके क्वेश्चन करने लगते हैं कि क्या मैंने सही किया, गलत किया। जो किया कर्म किया करके आगे बढ़ जाए तो अच्छी बात है। अगर पीछे जाके कॉन्टेम्पलेट करना भी है तो कॉन्टेम्पलेट ये कीजिए कि शायद मैंने आज ये किया है, यस ये कंपनी के हित में है, इसको और बेहतर कैसे बना दिया जा सकता था, या अगर आपको लगता है नहीं यही ठीक था तो फिर यही ठीक होके उसको वहीं पे बंद कर दीजिए। उसको बार 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 सोचने के तरीकों से और सिचुएशंस पर्सपेक्टिव से हमारे माइंड में सिर्फ हमारे ऊपर ही शंका आएगी, और हमारे डिसीजंस को बार बार रिविजिट करने में हमें दिक्कत होती है। ये चाहे वो आदमी है, औरत है, या कोई भी है, वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड। I think we are quite mature to take that in, and that is where Gita comes in play and says that focus on your goal and forget about how, why, where, because sometimes you need to focus on what is the net outcome. If I scream, what is the outcome? If I don't scream, what is the outcome? What do I really want at the end of the day? If I want the person to stay, then I have to deal with him differently. If I don't want the person to stay, I have to deal with him differently. If I want things to change, I have to do things differently. I think the pause, reflect, and doing action there works. But what we still need to work is work on self for pause.
I understand, ma'am. Thank you so much, and that's very, very well touched upon. I have another small point. Whenever I pick up the Bhagavad Gita, I have done it so many times, and sometimes I feel कि changing of language is good. तो कभी हिंदी में चालू होते हैं, फिर इंग्लिश में चले जाते हैं. And whenever I do that, I tread along for a couple of verses, couple of pages, couple of chapters, and then ultimately I stop. What is a beginner's good and easy and interesting way to tread along the entire Bhagavad Gita? Because I don't know how many people we have, roughly about 43 people here, minus you and me, so about 40 people. How many people have read end to end of the entire Bhagavad Gita? So I really, because I'm my perception is people start off, they read bits and pieces, and we try to gather things. That what is the easiest beginner's way of getting close to reading it? Whether narrative, is there any narrative of all verses available, like you mentioned in the podcast? So if you could throw light upon the easiest, simplest way to be able to run through the entire thing.
Okay, very, very, very valid question, a very beautiful question. Unfortunately, I have very limited answer for you, because I haven't read the Bhagavad Gita myself completely. So let me not preach what I have not done. But yes, what I can suggest is I have a Bhagavad Gita which is simpler in language. I do have a pocket dictionary Bhagavad Gita also. And I've also googled out on ISKCON temple and other sources where we find Bhagavad Gita scriptures.
Yeah.
Not all of us are very well versed in the language Hindi, Sanskrit, or Urdu. So reading it from that kind of book will be very difficult. Second, if you are more comfortable with one particular language, Hindi, Tamil, English, Urdu, Gujarati, Marwadi, whatever, please pick up that which has simpler language. Third, because some people like reading, I allow them to read. I am a more audio person. So I like to listen when I am driving or when I am actually traveling on my public transport, whether I'm on the plane or on the metro or any of the other transport that we take as Uber, Ola, whatever. It's better to listen, keep it very limited. The latest, I am a part of some groups where they share the learnings of one Bhagavad Gita scripture every day. And the podcast that I'm saying, it has recordings of say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which completely are done as only one scripture a day. So I'm saying we have 365 days in a year. We would not probably listen to 365 scriptures. But at least if we make it a point that every day, 30 minutes, we are restricting to that and then continue with that. And specifically a time when you are free. For some people, they are early birds, so they do it early in the morning. For some people who are late before sleeping, if you want to do that. For some people during travel, we don't make it one fit for all. So it becomes difficult for Pranesh, Piyush, Pranali, Riya or Vaibhav to follow. So we keep it as per your convenience. If you can pick it up, keep that 30 minutes that, you're not actually taking out the time, but you're still putting it out and listening to it. I'm sure जैसे छोटा बच्चा पहले सुन के सीखता है, हम भी पहले सुन लेते हैं. बोलना तो सबको आता ही है, तो सुन के शायद कुछ अंदर चले जाए. So I will share that link of what I also listen with Vaibhav ji, and Vaibhav ji can share it with the whole community. Hopefully your journey with Gita, like me, will be very fruitful. And like I said, I am not a master at it, or I just have taken the urge of probably picking up the Gita and sharing some amount of learnings, which is the first step for my learning towards Gita. So I am also a very naive person. I have only shared what I have learned and found from my learnings. I hope it will be useful to all of you present here. And wish you all a very beautiful Diwali, very calm Diwali, and good health, happiness with you and your family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, there is a question in the chat box.
Yes, why Gita divides humans? Adya 18 Shlok 41-42. I'll need to read that. I'm not really sure why it divides, but honestly, I can go through that and still give you my perspective, Vikasji. I'm making it a note and I will answer this and send it to Weber. Weber will send it to you in a short while. मैंने उसको नोट कर लिया है नोटपैड पे. मैं इसको पढ़ के आपको बताती हूँ. मे बी उसमें भी कुछ होगा. अगर डिवाइड एंड रूल है, जो हमारे यहाँ पे भी डिवाइड एंड रूल हुआ था कभी इंडिया में, सो उसका भी एक रीजन था कि हमें आजादी चाहिए थी. सो आई एम श्योर गीता में भी कुछ तो रीजन होगा कि डिवाइड एंड रूल. अगर डिवाइड ही नहीं होता तो आगे रूल कैसे बनता, आजादी कैसे मिलती, और हम और आप ऐसे बैठते नहीं. आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाट why it is divided in Shlok 41-42. Doesn't divide. Okay, so Dilip ji says it doesn't divide. Maybe you've read it, but maybe there is a different meaning to that Shlok. Let us read that and then get back to you with an answer. He can put it on a group if you have a group together, and everybody can share their own learnings.
So this is what it says, ma'am, and it says that.
Okay, great. You brought it up. Oh, Pranantap, the actions of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras have been divided according to the gunas born of nature.
In their nature.
So
it's about their doings and how what they incarnated from their past lives probably.
So with past life regression and past life learning, मैंने बहुत बार सुना है कि काफी लोग बोलते हैं या मानते हैं या सुनते हैं कि जो हमारे पास के कर्म है वो इस जन्म में या नेक्स्ट जन्म में हम लोग हमेशा उसका भुगतान करते हैं. मैंने ये बहुत बार मेरे जो पढ़ाकू नॉलेजेबल लोग को बोला है कि भाई जो शायद मेरे बाबा ने किया हो या मेरे दादा ने किया हो या मेरे माँ ने किया हो, वो मुझे क्यों झेलना पड़ेगा? ओके, या हमने कोई लास्ट जन्म में कुछ किया है, वो इस जन्म में हम लोग क्यों झेल रहे हैं? तो दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी कैन नॉट फाइट. It is created by karma, that whatever we have done earlier, we have to go through it and we have to complete it in this world. अब जहां ये 4-5 जो भी हमने देखे क्षत्रिय एंड अलग अलग जो भी हैं, आज के जमाने में चाहे हम हिंदू हो, मुसलमान हो, कुछ भी हो, ओके, हम लोग खुद भी मुंह से भी बहुत सारी गलतियां करते हैं, हाथ से भी गलतियां करते हैं, बहुत सारे कर्म अलग अलग फॉर्म से करते हैं. तो चाहे आप कौन से भी जात प्रात के हैं, जो हमने किया है वो हमें यहाँ पे करके जाना है, ये तो हम मानते ही हैं. सो इट मे नॉट बी डिवाइड एंड रूल, बट हियर द पॉइंट दैट आई थिंक दे आर ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड is that everyone has their own deeds, good or bad, that they have to fulfill here and go. So that might be something that they are bringing up. It also means that if we are intentionally, unintentionally doing good and bad, that also brings in their own deeds, and we need to settle them here, whether this janam or next janam. Okay, so I feel that is my take from that learning, unless until we go deep into it and understand what else is the pre and the post discussion. क्योंकि गीता पूरा एक सार कहानी की तरह है, जिसके आगे और पीछे भी पहलू हैं. हम खाली एक लाइन पढ़ के नहीं बोल सकते कि उसके आगे पीछे में क्या वो बोलने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. So maybe the shlok 18 might also have, the adhyay 17 or 16 will also have a perspective that is carrying on, and that's where they have brought the different cultures and traditions and whatever their deeds are. So we will need to read it a little more ahead or post to give you that perspective. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, if there are any other questions, guys.
I think just to clear it, may I come in?
Yes, please.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Basically, what Vikas ji has asked, that Vikas ji has said in the chapter 18, verse 41. The interpretation itself says that कि ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय और वैश्यों के तथा शूद्रों के कर्म स्वभाव से उत्पन्न गुणों द्वारा विभक्त किए गए. So that division is based on their qualities, not on the birth. That verse itself, it's a clear. There is no confusion in that. If interpretation, he takes the interpretation that division is based on the quality of their work.
Correct.
What kind of the quality of ones they are having. Not on the basis of the birth.
Oh, great. So they are
This
actually
because
saying that we are not dividing people based on their birth right or their birth names, that they वो क्षत्रिय हैं या मतलब जो भी जात प्रात के हैं, उनके बेसिस पे हम उनको डिवाइड नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम उनके गुणों के ऊपर बोल रहे हैं.
Yes. Because many times what happens, Gita is referred in the very short thing. They are not taken holistic approach in that when taking the explanation. That Gita never divides on the caste basis. Please, this I can vouch.
Yeah. Okay, so I think according to Hindu mythology, ये वेद व्यास ने लिखा था गीता. So I don't know which century, but yes, if it is Ved Vyas, then obviously it is written in way ahead. Bhagavad Gita बहुत पहले 200 BC के टाइम पे लिखी हुई होगी. Okay, which century? 200 BC या it's not in AD for sure, BC में ही था, इतना मुझे पता है. और वेद व्यास जी ने लिखा था वो भी पता है. ट्रेडिशनली 700 वर्सेस हैं, 18 चैप्टर्स हैं, संस्कृत में लिखी हुई थी. And it was talking about Mahabharata, 23 to 40 chapters and 6 books. It was also called Bhisma Parva or something like that. Bhishma Parva. Yes, Bhishma Parva. It was on Bhishma Pitama name. So
it's a part of the Bhishma Parva.
Achha, it was not a part.
It's a part of the Bhishma Parva.
हाँ वही भीष्म पर्व.
Yes.
So I think BC में हुआ है, फर्स्ट मिलेनियम बिफोर क्राइस्ट के टाइम पे हुआ है ये. बाकी तो ईयर सेंचुरी तो मुझे भी नहीं आइडिया है, लेकिन आप उसको 100% विकिपीडिया पे गूगल पे सर्च कर सकते हैं. इट माइट बी देयर. यस. ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
There is another question in the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. After Dharma Yudh, which dharma was formed by Krishna? No, sir, I have no idea. Maybe if somebody knows the answer, you can surely help him. मुझे ये idea ही नहीं है.
Yes, first of all, please, if you read the Gita, there is no word, never, Gita has not used any word Hindu. हिंदू वर्ड गीता में कहीं पे भी नहीं आया है।
हम्म.
पहले तो मैं
नहीं,
आपको
उन्हें
ये
पूछा है कि
नहीं
धर्म
नहीं मैंने
युद्ध.
नहीं क्लियर करने, जो अगर धर्म की बात कर रहे हैं तो
हाँ.
रिलीजन और धर्म आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स। रिलीजन इज द फेथ, वेयर इज योर फेथ, इन व्हाट यू बिलीव, एंड धर्म इज योर ड्यूटी। द गीता टीचेस अबाउट द धर्म, नॉट द रिलीजन। तो आप इसको रिलीजन प्रोस्पेक्टिव में देख रहे हैं तो वो गलत है। गीता कहीं पे भी रिलीजन की बात नहीं करती है।
हाँ,
गीता इज ए
actually, हिंदू
यूनिवर्सल, गीता
मुस्लिम
इज ए
सब नहीं
यूनिवर्सल
बोलते.
टेक्स्ट।
Yes.
गीता इज ए यूनिवर्सल टेक्स्ट। ये यूनिवर्सलिटी को सिखाती है, वो किसी कंजर्वेटिव चीज में नहीं जाती है। गीता ने कहीं पे नहीं बोला है कि आपको बस शाकाहारी होना है, आपको भोजन, आपका भोजन शाकाहारी होना है, कहीं पे भी नहीं लिखा हुआ है। गीता ने
It was
कहीं पे
just
भी नहीं।
it is showing you the way of living actually. It's just
राइट,
showing you
एग्जैक्टली।
how to actually remove yourself from body and get yourself into the soul level. So it is just teaching you the way of life. It is teaching you how to keep clean, purity of mind, how to be calm, how not to be wicked, how not to be taking revenge, how not to act angrily, how
एग्जैक्टली, ऑल
not
गुड
to
क्वालिटीज।
punish people, how you should act. It is just showing how your doing and action should work. It doesn't teach you कि आप हिंदू मुसलमान या divide and rule and I don't know, all those things don't come in Gita. But
एक
yes, after I think after Mahabharata and the entire Gita Sar happened, Dharma was established. There was something as a structure to follow. तो मैं बोल सकती हूँ कि वो foundation था to set the way of life. Okay, it is not about disintegrating into different rules or different religions or caste or creed or whatever. ऐसे मुझे लगता है. Okay. Oh, because he has a lot of questions. In which script Lipi original Gita was written? It was written in Sanskrit. Yeah, duty is real dharma. Correct, Sanjay ji. So Negi sir said right. Perfect. तो यस, ये क्वेश्चन भी आप गूगल कर सकते हैं कि सर कौन से लिपि में, मोस्टली तो देवनागरी में ही लिखा होगा. हाउ ओल्ड इज संस्कृत? ओके, सो I have not done Wikipedia on Sanskrit now, but yes, you can help yourself on the Google. We can soon answer these questions. I'm noting one by one. I'll copy the script and then help you. Okay. So,
मैम आई वांट टू से समथिंग।
yes sir, बोलिए ना.
एक्चुअली नेगी सर ने जो कहा है कि ड्यूटी इज द रियल धर्म,
आगे बोलिए.
पूछा गया धर्म है, धर्म के क्रिश्चियन ये सारे धर्म है, तो संत ज्ञानेश्वर जी ने कहा था कि जो आपका कर्म है उससे ही आपका धर्म पहचाना जाता है। जब तक एक लड़की माँ नहीं बनती ना, तब तक उसका मातृ धर्म जागृत नहीं होता है। तो जब तक कोई पिता नहीं बनता, उसका पितृ धर्म जागृत नहीं होता है। तो जो ड्यूटी होता है, जबकि आदमी का कन्वर्शन, एक पुरुष का कन्वर्शन पिता में होता है, तो उसका पितृ धर्म जागृत हो जाता है। एक कन्या का जब वो मदर बन जाती है तो मातृ धर्म जागृत हो जाता है। तो जो भी अपना कर्म से रिलेटेड है, ड्यूटी से रिलेटेड है, वही रियलिस्टिक धर्म है। और जो हम मानते हैं, ये जैसा सर ने कहा कि रिलीजन बेस्ड धर्म है, ये अलग चीज है। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो सर का कहना है वो बिल्कुल परफेक्ट है।
बराबर है, मैं भी वही मानती हूँ. एंड अगर सबका किसी और का कुछ और पर्सपेक्टिव भी है, वो हम सुन सकते हैं. बिकॉज सी वी आर हियर टू लर्न फ्रॉम ईच अदर, and not all perspectives will be right or wrong, but at least get to hear what could be a perspective. Okay, why different intellectuals interpret in different ways? Because all of us have different thought processes. We are brought up differently from different backgrounds. We know the culture and traditions of Gita itself differently. हमने सारों ने अलग अलग सार पढ़ा है, उसका अलग अलग मतलब निकालते हैं, क्योंकि हमारी बैकग्राउंड ही वैसी है कि जिन जिन लोगों से हम मिले हैं, सीखे हैं, उठते हैं, बैठते हैं, क्या क्या हमारे खुद के लोग हमें सिखाते हैं, उसके ऊपर भी हमें हमारी लर्निंग आती जाती रहती है. So it depends how we look at things, how we understand things, and how we take things. Same way, when we look at people also, we see people in different ways and we interpret them in different ways. कि किसी के लिए शायद some people are against certain cultures or certain religions or certain quality of people, but yes, does not mean that they are like that. Okay, so yes, Mahabharata was originally okay. So there is the script that Gita was written in the lipi was only Sanskrit, Bhagavad Gita, and it was written with 18 chapters by Vyasa. लिपि लिखी नहीं है, लेकिन आप गूगल कर सकते हो, मैंने भी गूगल किया. यहाँ पे कोई लिपि लिखी नहीं है, सो आई एम श्योर वो सिर्फ संस्कृत ही था. ठीक है, मैंने वो भी आपके लिए ढूंढ के दिखा, लेकिन मुझे मिला नहीं. आपको मिलता है तो प्लीज शेयर कीजिएगा और सबको बताइएगा. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया सबमिटेड द ओल्डर स्क्रिप्ट टू यूनेस्को, 500 years old, no proof older than this. So maybe you know the answer better there, Vikas ji. Thank you so much for sharing. मेरा भी general knowledge थोड़ा बढ़ गया. But yes, thank you so much. I think that's great that we are able to learn from all you lovely people here. Yes, Vaibhav ji, we can see you. You are on mute, sir. Unmute कीजिए.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation and
Thank you,
explaining the
Vaibhav ji.
topic in
Thank you.
simplifying way.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. We need to find all the important things about our own scripture, sir. And it is not about only truth, it is about all the foundation elements. हम लोग इंडिया से हैं और इतने अच्छे अच्छे स्क्रिप्चर्स हैं, तो हमें जानना भी चाहिए कहाँ से आया, कैसे आया, what is the truth, किस लिपि में था, क्या था. It's good that you have such a creative, inquisitive mind so that we also get to learn more. And learning is always mutual. So thank you so much for enlightening me also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sundar ji, thank you ICS, thank you Vaibhav ji, and the entire team, Sumit ji and everybody who were able to participate. And thank you so much for having me. Happy Diwali once. Thank you.
Happy Diwali to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next session is on 18th November on cyber protection. It shall be taken by CS Samir Chaudhary, sir. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, CMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact Ms. Sushma Tindalkar on the given contact details. Feedback form. Please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give your valued feedback to us. So thank you, Raina ma'am, for the wonderful session. Thank you all the participants and delegates. And now it's time to officially close the session. Thank you, everyone.